Till J, welcome back to the channel. Are you ready to tinker and play? Well, today we're not really playing. I guess if you love tinkering on cars, then yes, this is playing. But I've got to change the brake pads, the rear brake pads on my driver's side rear. And I figured I would just go ahead and do this video and show you how easy it is to do it and how inexpensive it is to do it. So you get your brake pads in these sets of two for your rear axle and front axle. Right there, they come all together in that really cool little box here, and that's really all you need, and your tools, of course. And there's one specialty tool right there we'll go over in this video. Now, before you get started, you want to get your jack out. Okay, I don't got my hydraulic jack out here today. That's okay. This came out of the back of my car, came with my 2014 Chevy Traverse. Look at that. Oh gosh, those are ugly. I need to change my rotors. So all you mechanics out there, yes, I've got to change my rotors, but I need this done right now. But I got me a really cheap set of brake pads. I'm gonna put those on there. Another first thing you want to do is put on your emergency brake. Here's mine. Mine's a pedal emergency brake. Some people have theirs up near where the gear shift is in the center console. Put on your emergency brake. Another safety thing that I do is I put either cinder blocks, bricks, or in this case, like this big boulder we have around my tires in the front of them so the car does not roll. We are gonna break these lug nuts. Get this car jacked up here nice and safely. Get these lug nuts off of here. Break this tire loose from that rotor. Get your brake pads, laid out for you. Get your tools, get your wrench, find your brake caliper here, and all your really sliced down, thin down brake pads. Mine are pretty much gone. It's usually only two bolts here, one there at the top and one down there at the bottom. Get your wrench or your socket here. Break these off. Get them pretty darn loose. So in my case, it was loosen up the top bolt really well, take out the bottom bolt there, and then you just kind of work this out. It's got some rust on there, but you just flip this sucker up. That way you don't have to take out the whole both bolts, and you can just keep it lined up for your last step, which is installing the brake pads. Just watch out for your brake line down here. You do not want to break that. You're gonna have a bigger issue on your hands. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a screwdriver and knock these, get these brake pads out of here. So with the brake caliper lifted, you get back behind that brake pad, separate it from the rotor. Just give it some twists, and then you can top and bottom. You can move it out of this little groove there and the groove there. Try to keep those clips, these things right here. If you don't have extra ones, try to keep those in good standing right here, because if you break those or lose those, then you got to go grab you some of those. So we'll pull both these brake pads out of here, and we'll get these new ones on here. All right, pull this first brake pad off there, and then we see that it is roached. So got that one off. I'm gonna get the other one off. Later on this year, I'm gonna be changing these rotors, so I bought some really cheap brake pads. Now, here's an interesting thing about these brake pads. Now, this is the back side of this rotor. The brake pad goes on the back side. Look how much of that brake pad is still left on there. But you notice something about it? Look at that. It's just uneven. You see how there's like a pattern worn in there? Well, that's because I've got some spots on my rotor on the back side of it. They're like grooved, and that's not a good thing to have either. Sometimes you can get your rotors off and get them surfaced and everything, resurfaced and make them flat. I'm just gonna go and get new rotors later on this year. But for right now, you could definitely keep that in there, or just change both brake pads, because look how thick that is. And then this is the new one, so it's not even worn down half of its use, half of its pad, and you can still see that groove there in the middle of that one. See how low this other one is. See if there's any kind of groove there. See, we still have a groove there in the middle of this brake pad. So you know, for me, I'm probably going to keep this on and just kind of save this just in case I have a problem before I change these rotors. I can just use this on my you know, on my other backside or something. I got to change all these rotors, so you know, it's okay to reuse them. And I'm going to reuse this one and then save these for a future brake pad job. Yeah, because this one right here, I'm going to put that on there, and within, you know, a month or so or less of use, it's going to start wearing that groove in there, just like that's already on this one that I've just taken off. So I'm going to put this one back on, put this front brake on there, and we're going to put this tire on, and we'll be done with these brake pads. It's that easy. You don't have to pay $200-300 bucks. These were $40 brake pads. You could do both back brake pads, the axle, for, you know, less than 50 bucks. Installing a brake pad is really simple. It's just, you just line up the grooves on the top and the bottom and then set it in there, and really the new ones just slide right in there just like that. If you have any kind of problems, you just take this hammer here, kind of hit it, tap it a little bit, not too much, but just tap it and get it on there. And you know, so we got the front, we got these brake pads here. I changed that one. Leaving that back one on there for now. You know, if I go and use it over the next week or two and I start having problems, any kind of vibration or sound, you know, it takes just moments to pop this stuff back off, and I'll change it. All right, so I told you there was one special tool you have to help you make it easier for you to. Sorry about the geese; they're out heavy today. But the one tool that you will need that'll make your life a lot easier is this tool right here. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I'll have a link to it in the description section, so you can grab yourself one of them if you want to do your own brake pad changes. You know, this thing right here basically just pushes the piston back in your brake caliper right there. See that piston that's stuck out? It uses the brake fluid and the hydraulic system to push that out, to push your brake pads onto your rotor over here, so that it does the squeezing and, you know, it does the braking. Well, when you take off your brakes, you know, you got to push that back in. So you take this piece right here and you keep your old brake, and then you take it and use it like this. Set your old brake pad in like this up against that piston piece right there, and then take your tool here and set it here just like that, so that that black part, the metal part up there, is up against the other side of your caliper, and then that part right there on the other end is up on your brake pad, your old brake pad. That way you can screw this right here, and as you screw that, this black piece right there, that metal piece right there, will come back against your caliper, and that will make separation between that piece and your little piece that's onto your brake pad, and it will push that caliper back in there, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so we got some tension on there. Let's get in here. So yeah, so we got some tension on there, and then as we twist that, you can see that piston is moving in. And you don't do it too much because you don't want to break anything in there. You don't want to break that piston and have to buy yourself a whole new setup there. But I keep twisting it and it pushes it in. And I want to get it close to level because it's got to come down over your brake pads. So let's get that in there like that, and then we're going to set this down over top of those brake pads. All right, we got nice and flush there. Now it's ready to come and plop down over top these brake pads in here. See, that one popped out a little bit. Just push it in there, and then just slide it in there just like that over top of that. And then you line up your bolts back here in the back, and then you got to put those two bolts back on, and we're going to be done. Another thing, sometimes this inner bolt right here will give you some problems. So I grabbed my my other wrench here. I got a 17 millimeter here, and that goes over top of that, and you just hold that while you tighten this back bolt, and you'll get it all on there nice and tight, nice and snug. All right, both bolts are on there, nice and snug. Got the brake pads in there, and now you're all ready to go and get yourself some smooth and sound-free braking. Like I've said in previous videos, you know, we do a lot of different things in and around our house to try to save money. And this is just one of them. I am by no means a certified mechanic. Grown up all my life working around tools and taking care of stuff, so this is just one of those things I do. I love to save money, and I like saving money on mechanical things, like my car. Change my own oil, change hoses, change wires, change everything. I just took out the whole back end of this thing and changed the actuators in the back here for the air conditioning and the heat, and that was a job. I wish I would have recorded that. I had this whole back end taken out. That's just how to change brake pads and save yourself $100 to $200. Realistically, if I wasn't doing the video, you know, and had all my tools readily available, I could have got this done in 20 minutes, 25 minutes tops, just this one side. So, you know, give yourself about an hour or less for both sides and you'll be fine. I'm LJ. I want to remind you to have a great day and always find time to tinker and play.